in samsara. Okay? So therefore, that is renunciation we are talking about. Giving up the worldly, giving up the attachment towards worldly things. That is renunciation. And then for that, you must also think about the faults of worldly things. If you find all the worldly things very attractive, then you don't want to give them up. Natural, right? So to be able to give them up, you need to see the faults of the worldly things. You know. You have to think about, as I told you earlier, the sufferings of the samsara, particularly the lower three realms, and the suffering of what? A human form, okay? And then mainly, I have some forms of sufferings of human form. Then we talked about the suffering of suffering. We already talked about the changing of suffering, and then we talked about this one suffering, which is everywhere. For example, the suffering is in human realm, also in three lower realms. But changing of suffering is in the human realm, but not in lower four realms. For lower realms, always suffering of suffering. That is there. But here, not all the time it's suffering of suffering, but sometimes changing of suffering, right? Because as I already explained earlier, so I don't need to go into great detail about that. Now the other one is throughout the samsara. It is throughout the samsara. That suffering is there. Even those I talked about long life, God's realm, right? And the form God's realm, desire God's realm, and formless God's realm. All those realms, they have this suffering. That is called, it is pervaded. And that is called pervasive suffering. The potential to produce suffering and changing of suffering are there with all these beings, formless beings, form beings, desire God dreams, all they have this potential. And that is called pervasive suffering. So there's three sufferings. And there are 6 other sufferings of human being. And I have listed for you, but I cannot find at the moment. This is the one is fault being the fault being uncertain. Everything is uncertain in human realm. Today we are friends, tomorrow can be enemy. Today can enemy, tomorrow can be friend, good friend, best friend. And today's best friend can be the biggest enemy tomorrow. You can see, we see this. We don't pay attention to it. Otherwise we see this. This is very obvious, right? So that is uncertain. The fault of being uncertain. And then no satisfaction. Providing no satisfaction. So as I told you, this we have already discussed a little bit, but in the context of suffering, that when we are in the human being, we have no satisfaction. But we have to train our mind. Otherwise, naturally we are not satisfied with what we have. So this is also a fault of human form, or suffering of human form. We discard our body again and again. Sometimes human form, sometimes dog body, sometimes human body, sometimes animal body. So throw it again and again, never endlessly we throw it. Okay? And then the other one is reborn again and again. So once we throw the body, we have to take rebirth. That is natural. So we take rebirth again and again. Then falling from high position to low position. So it is also uncertain. You know, even if you are president of a country or so, but tomorrow you can fall to low position, or you can be defeated in the election, and you are just a normal person. You can become a just normal person, or falling from high position to low position again and again. It's not once, again and again. And then having no companion. So we don't have a real companion with us. When we were born, we came alone. There is no companion. So when we are traveling through the samsara, nobody accompanies you. You know, we have to go through all these realms. We have been going to all these realms from beginner's time, and we have to travel by ourselves. And then, so when we take rebirth, we are alone. When we die, we have to leave this world by ourselves. Nobody will accompany you. This renunciation, your desire to get out of samsara will increase. Otherwise, you will not admire liberation. And if you don't admire liberation, then you will not make effort to be liberated, right? So therefore, renunciation is very important. The first principal path to enlightenment. And then here he goes on saying that when you become familiar with how difficult to get this precious human form, and how impermanent is this precious human form, you should get familiar with that. And if you get familiar with that, and if you realize that this is very difficult to find, but it is very difficult to, it is very easy to disappear. So our life is, there's no guarantee for our life. So if you contemplate in this way again and again, then your attachment towards this life will be swept away. This life is not important, but next life I must get a good rebirth. I must born in a very rich family, and I should become very big person. So that kind of attitude can develop within us. So that is attachment towards next life, right? So that is also equally not good. Eliminating that kind of attachment as well. So how to do that? For that you should think again and again about the causality, cause and effect system, law of karma, and how law of karma is undeceptive, inevitable, and it can never be failed. The law of karma can never be failed. So it is not deceptive. And you should think this again and again. And then you think of the suffering of the samsara again and again. If you, in this way, then your attachment towards next life can be eliminated.